Okay. All right. I'm gonna live stream a course that I bought a while back. Let me just share this with my Discord server. This live stream. Let me just turn on the light here. I'll leave the door open. Yeah. Okay. Let me just go to my channel. Let's get this live stream share going live now to everyone. Going live now to watch a personal branding and public speaking video course together with you. Okay. All right. Let's get this. So I'll show you here. Web browse, yeah. So this is the Purpose Process by Julien Blanc. I paid money for this, hundreds of dollars actually. Got it on sale. There's a marketing and sales course, but right now I want to watch the personal brand and public speaking ones first. So let's watch personal brand, establish authority, how to cut through the noise, the art of storytelling, how to reframe false beliefs. Okay, maybe let's try personal brand. A brand or create your own podcast? Let's do public speaking 101 and create your own podcast. I also am recording these videos so that, where is it? Julien Blanc. This process, module 3 marketing, that's module 4 your personal brand. Module 4 your personal brand. Module 5 sales. Module 5 sales and module 6 public speaking. Module 6 public speaking. Okay, let's watch a mix of public speaking and your brand. So let's start with create your own podcast. That's the one that's calling out to me the most. So this is 6.2. Okay, I'm also going to record this, so I'm going to not show my face and just record the video. So let's go to, I'm gonna be no mic. Web browse, no mic, 34 setup. It's gonna be this. Yeah, okay, so no mic, so I won't be mic until the end of the video.
When it comes to practicing, as I said, look for little situations in your life. One thing I personally did starting out, because I was just so terrible at it, is I would do just daily videos, 5-minute videos, where I'd take a camera and just talk about an object. All right, as if I was giving a speech in a video, like, hey, today I'm going to talk about this phone, and do a 5-minute video about the phone. Just even something like that, no audience, just a camera. Practice, practice, practice. But the best at-home exercise you can do to improve this is to create your own podcast. This is the #1 exercise if you want to improve your public speaking and you're not doing this, and it's easy not to do it, you're insane. Okay, so create your own podcast. What do I mean by this? I mean record a video podcast, not audio, video every single week and analyze it. And no retakes. Meaning, every week you can set a time. So you could say, hey, every Saturday from 1 to 2, I'm going to record a podcast. And you schedule that in. And how do you record your podcast? Well, you sit down. You can have your computer with some notes or bullets. That's fine. And then if you have a camera, use it. If not, take your phone out, set it up, film yourself, press record. And no retakes, meaning you press record and you leave it running until you're done. No, oh, I messed up, let me start over. You record it. Okay? It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour. Find something that fits in your schedule. But go for, say, an hour and fill that podcast as if you were going to post it online. So if you're someone who their ideal life does involve, say, some kind of online business, online coaching, talking about something in a video format, or talking about this product that you're selling or that you offer, whatever it is, then gear the podcast content around that. So you're practicing on the content side too. But if you're someone who's like, I don't have anything to even do online or whatnot, still do the podcast, but fill it with whatever you want. But the rule is make it captivating and ask yourself, what's a podcast that if I put it out, people would watch it and love it? And it could be filled with interesting bits of information. It could be filled with events from your day, things you find funny, whatever you want to talk about, but you have to fill an hour of nonstop talking. Okay, and record it. And once it's recorded, you're then going to analyze it. Now, the way you're going to analyze it is once more through the lens of, what if I was watching this as a viewer who knew nothing about me? What would I think of this? And then give the rating and ask yourself, well, how would you improve it now so that the rating goes higher? Meaning, don't just make the same type of podcast every single time. Every time, you better have specific things you're going to change or do, or things you're working on that are going to improve it. So every week, it should be getting better and better and better. But I would also analyze, first of all, the visual side, meaning watch it muted and just look at yourself. And once more, I don't know this person. How do I feel about this? Right? The pre-verbal side of things. Analyze eye contact. Are you doing the podcast just kind of looking down the whole time? Is it overly forced? Can you sense in the eyes there's nervousness? Right? The eyes are the windows into someone's soul. You can see so much. Looking at this stranger, even though it's you in the phone, how do you feel about the eyes here? Okay, eye contact. Facial expressions. Is it stiff, like, hi, or loose, expressive, captivating? Like, would you be sucked into this podcast without any audio? Same with body language. Right? Is it stiff James Bond or loose Jack Black? So you look at the visual side. Then you turn it away and you play the audio, and you just look at the audio side. So if you weren't seeing the person, how do you feel about this? How's the tonality? Right? Is it going up? Hey, hi. Is it try hard? Right? Trying for rapport or breaking rapport, going down. The range of expressiveness. What does that mean? There has to be range. It can't be monotone. So what people tend to do is they'll talk the same speed, same volume, same pitch, right? Hello, here's what's going on with me. I am very monotone. No, you want to switch that up. There has to be range. Times where you're loud, times where you're quiet, times where you speak fast, times where you speak slow, right? Times where your pitch even goes like, what? Like goes up, and there's like, oh, there, and then times where it's serious and hey, very serious. Like, stretch that range. Okay, is there emotion? What do you feel when you hear the voice? And are there weird long pauses? So you can analyze both sides, compartmentalize the two, and then look for signs of incongruencies between the two. Right? Perhaps, you could say the voice sounds confident, and then when you look at the body language, it's like not aligned. Okay, something to work on there. Okay, and then you can look at the whole thing, of course. But this podcast exercise is an absolute game changer. It will also lead you to do a few things. One, which is take note during your week of things to talk about. So if you're also someone who's like, I always run out of things to say, it's not because you have nothing to say. You've been alive X amount of time. You've had X amount of experiences in this thing called life. Not having anything to say or running out of things to say is an injustice towards life. There's a million things you could say. But it doesn't come top of mind for one reason, well, two reasons. One, we get very stifled emotionally, and it hijacks your focus so you can't even think of things, which is why inner work and letting go is so important. But then on the other side, this is more external, you're simply not making it something that you're thinking about or something that's top of mind, right? For a lot of people, they go through life and they forget so much so fast right after it happens. With this podcast exercise, this means that every single week you're always looking at your day and you're trying to extract interesting things to talk about. So you're like, well, what interesting thing happened to me today? That would be a key question to ask yourself every night before you go to bed. What interesting things happened today? Most people don't. Go straight to bed, forget about the day, and find one. You might even look like, well, today was pretty boring. Well, there's still something interesting in there. Or maybe there's something framed a certain way would be interesting. Take note. Interesting things or stories once more from your past. But basically it gets your focus, your RAS locked in on information for the podcast. Okay. And then you'll say the information, you're like, okay, I got a week to fill the next one. Better take notes throughout the week. And do take notes because we do forget. Okay. With my content, I'm taking notes all the time. I have I simply use the Note app in my phone, and any little thing, or because it'll happen in the most random times, right? I'm walking somewhere and I'm like, oh, this thing explained that way goes with that concept. That's so great. Make a note. Right? Same with a lot of this content here, even creating the slides. Sometimes there's a few bullets and I don't really know where it's going to take it from there. And then I'll think of something like, oh, there's that. And I write it in my phone. So I'm always writing things down because we forget so much. We have so many genius thoughts throughout the day that we forget about simply because we think we're like, I'll remember that. No, you won't. Get in the habit of just jotting it down. So the system I use is I write it in the notes, but it gets really messy and all over the place. There's so many notes, right? And if you update one, two, it boosts it to the front, so it's just chaos. So what you want to do is you can say every week, I'm not perfect with this, but I'll try, like every week or so, I'll sit down and dedicate some time to go through all those notes that are all messy all over the place. And I'm going to then categorize them better and put them in my computer. And I use this app called Scrivener, which you can use if you like. People use it for screenplay writing, and it's just easy to move things around. So I'll have like folders and things under there, and I'll just copy paste the keynotes where they need to go. So it's like brain dump in here, then organize in the computer. That's how I personally like to do it. But find your way, but definitely take notes and write it down. Okay. Also, this will lead you to watch and analyze professional podcasts. And the cool thing with this exercise is that because you're now doing it yourself, when you watch someone else do a podcast or put some kind of content out there, you're going to see it through a very different lens, and you're going to pick up on things that you previously hadn't picked up on. Meaning, if you even take sports as an example, if you've never actually played the sport, you're just viewing it at a surface level. You could understand, sure, if you study it a bit, all the little subtleties to some extent, but only someone who at least tried playing it, even playing it just for fucking fun, right? Like in your backyard, just to get a feeling component for it. When you then watch that sport, you're going to see all these little subtleties, or things will seem different and more impressive because you know what it's really like. You have an actual real life reference anchored there. The same here. If you're just watching podcasts and stuff for fun, great, but it's just surface. You try doing your own, and your RAS, your focus, is going to pick up on subtleties. For example, say you run out of things to say all the time during your podcast, or you're like, I just don't know how to smoothly transition between topics. Well, now when you watch a professional podcast, instead of just enjoying it, part of your mind is going to be locked in on, well, how does this person do the transitions? So you're picking up on deeper things, right? And then you'll apply that to your own, and it will get better and better and better. Very important. Same if you're going to speak on stage and do public speaking, watch other public speakers. Watch comedians. Analyze them. Don't just watch for entertainment. Analyze in terms of how they do what they do. Okay, and apply it to your podcast. And the goal is you should, just for the fun of it at the end, have a killer podcast. And again, this is an exercise. You're not putting it out publicly, but you're still going through the exact motions as if you were. And the progress I've seen in people is crazy with this. Literally, you do this, you'll always have things to talk about, because even if you run out of things to say, you're like, well, what did I talk about last podcast? and it's recent, it's fresh, it feels authentic and exciting. You're used to talking. You also learn how to talk because it's just a one-person show, a conversation for a whole hour. You know, one of the biggest skills that you'll learn from this too, speaking-wise, is how to bring everything back to your original intention when speaking. So what that means is when I'm talking, like again, I have the bullets, I have what I want to say, but sometimes you'll start a sentence one way, but it's not necessarily aligned with your plan. So I'll say something one way, and then in my mind, I'm like, oh, I didn't want to say it like that. I wanted to say it like this so I could hit on that point and bring it back. So you made a mistake, technically. When that happens, when people do, they're like, oh no, and they freak out. They're like, oh, sorry, let me go back and let me do this, right? Instead, this will teach you how to take that direction, which was a mistake, and without losing your flow, whatnot, just rewording some things to smoothly bring it back according to plan. Even on this talk here, there are things sometimes that I say where I start the wrong way and I bring it back and no one notices because that's the skill. You'll learn this. You won't panic, right? Because sometimes too, your mouth will move faster than your thoughts. You're like, here's the general idea. Mouth is moving. And then you're pretty much just kind of steering it to get your point across. But you'll learn that skill and it'll be very, very valuable. So podcast exercise, get on it.
Okay. Podcast, create your own podcast. Let me save that. I created that video file. This one will be called 6.2. Purpose process 6.2. Create your own podcast. Saving these just in case you ever deletes access to this. Okay, let's go back to the modules and let's have a look. Public Speaking 101. Sales. Your brand. Establish authority. How to cut through the noise. Let's watch a bit of module 4. Your personal brand. 18 minutes. Oh, that's a long video. Okay, let me start. Okay, recording. No mic. Here we go. I'm gonna be no mic, and just watch the video and record it.
So when you hear the term brand, okay, we always tend to think, okay, brands in terms of business, in terms of, products, so on and so forth, but do realize that you yourself is also a brand, okay? The brand that is you. And understanding how this all works, okay, what is a brand? How do I communicate my brand? How do I identify and amplify and supercharge my brand? Yes, it's very useful to view this through business lenses and perspectives, but always bring it back to, okay, but what about me and myself, right? What's my brand when it comes to strangers, other people, my target audience, the people I want to connect to, the people I want to reach? All this is very key, okay? So rule of thumb here, the most powerful brand, as always, is authenticity, okay? Don't try to become someone else. Be inspired by others, yes, but don't try to copy them because you'll always be a poor person's version of who you're trying to copy, okay? But do draw inspiration from others. And this is something I would start by doing and just say, okay, who are, just on a people level, the people I truly resonate with, right? The people I might follow, listen to, watch, whether it's in terms of, say, education, self-help, music, the types of characters I might even resonate with or like in different movies or shows, so on and so forth, and make a list. And it can be very helpful to take this list and then say, okay, well, what about all these different people? Like, what do they have in common, right? What's their style, right? What's their spice, the intrigue? What is it that draws me to them? And I would go through this and really make a list. And from all those points, you can draw some inspiration. And the key question is always, well, what's my version of that? Right? So for myself, as an example, I always loved brands that are a little bit more edgy, right? Even in terms of, say, music. Back in the day, I'd love listening to Eminem, for example. And no joke, this is back in Switzerland when I was young. I even bought, this is pre, again, the internet takeover. The internet was around, but it wasn't as popular as now. I even bought this old school lyric book of Eminem. No joke, like a printed out lyric book. And I would like read through the lyrics and highlight different lines, so on and so forth. And I just loved like the texture of the wording that he uses and the edginess, so on and so forth. Loved that. So that would be, for example, one component. And then I would always ask myself, well, what's my version of that? Right? Staying authentic to me, because hey, he already exists. I don't want to be a poor person's copy or version of that. Well, what's my version? Right? Based on all those unique experiences that I've had, the things that I'm into, the things that I resonate with, again, everything that's me, if I were to supercharge that through that lens of, say, being a little bit more edgy, what would that look like, right? And I played into that in terms of marketing, right? Especially when I first started out, it was all like, okay, well, what's the edgy version of this? And playing into it. That would just be, say, one component, right? Oh, a little bit on the polarizing side. For you, it's, well, what do you resonate with? Play into that, right? You might also resonate with non-edginess and perhaps just this one style of humor, in which case, great. How can you take that humor and then incorporate it and supercharge that authentic you through that lens of humor? Okay, but in the end, it all comes down to authenticity, especially if you want to stand out. You got to be you, because you're the only person who's you, and no one can compete with that in terms of authenticity. Right? No one can. No one can be better at being you than you. So do keep that in mind. Don't try to copy others because there's already a better version out there. Right? It's like, I'm going to try to be like this teacher and this coach and that celebrity. No. Your own version. Set the trend. Right? That's really the power of like a strong brand is, are you a trendsetter? And make whatever you're into, whatever it is that you are, cool. Make it like, that's marketing. It's make this fucking cool and make it something that people resonate with and that just draws people in. Okay, that's the foundation. From there, you must identify your features and benefits. Okay, features and benefits. A feature, simply put, is what a product has. So even yourself as a product, what do you have, right? What are your little bells and whistles? And benefits are simply what a product does for you, right? For the person. Features is the what, right? What does it have? And then it's, well, how does it benefit another person, or more specifically, your target audience? Okay. If you think of even, say, within a coaching, right? Meditation is an example, like letting go meditation, that's a feature. That's not a benefit, right? That's what it has or what it does. You're like, okay, well, there's meditation. How does that benefit me? That's the benefit, okay? It should always pass the test of, if you were to say, oh, here's the feature, there's letting go meditation. Well, what if the target audience is like, well, why do I care? Why should I care that there's letting go meditations, right? What does it do for me? That's the benefit. Oh, well, letting go meditations will help you reduce anxiety, build your level of self-esteem, right? It'll help you let go of the past and all those things that are running you. You'll no longer get triggered, et cetera, et cetera. And that's benefits. Okay, so the same thing for you. You're like, okay, in terms of my features, what do I have? And I would make a list, a long list. The longer, the better. Write down all your features. It could be, well, I'm pretty well versed in personal development and self-help, right? You might know a lot. Great, well, that's a feature. How does that benefit your target audience or the people you want to connect with or the people you might come in contact with? How does that actually help them, this whole knowledge? And I would write down 2 columns here, one with all your features and the other with all the benefits according to the specific target audience. Okay, you can also do this in different areas of life, whether it's relationship target audience, how does it benefit them? Business-wise, how does it benefit that person? Friendship-wise, how does it benefit that person? But make a list, and once more, it has to pass the test. Okay, why should they care? And another key question is, where is this cool to me, but they don't care? So you might think, oh, look, this is really cool. But again, it's not about you, it's about them. Things that you might find really cool, other people just don't care at all. Okay, I'll see a lot of, for example, YouTube creators or content creators make this mistake where they're like, you know what, I want to show a bit more personality, right? Say they're just putting just purely content, and there's not enough personality behind it, right? It's just the content at the forefront. And they're like, well, I'm going to show a little bit of in the life. And they might show this thing that they find really cool, but that the viewer just doesn't care about at all. Even if the intention was good to say, showcase some more personality. And that's where they fall into this trap where just because you think it's cool doesn't mean someone else is going to think it's cool. And this is why always putting yourself in the other person's shoes, understanding your target audience is so key, because it's not all about you. It's what matters to them. Still being authentic, but making sure it's the right authenticity that also connects. Okay? Those two questions, extremely, extremely key. I ask myself this all the time, even say putting a video out, right? We talked about before, okay, well, what about the framing or packaging so that you get ultimately a click and someone benefits from the video? Well, that's the first question. Why should they care about this? Okay, I'm putting out a video on how to overcome, say, social anxiety. Why does the person care? Right? If I just do a how-to, like, here is how to overcome social anxiety. Right? What am I ultimately doing? Although you could say, yes, it's in a way a benefit, you can also follow the trail of benefits, just as similar to following the trail of whys, right? When it comes to inner work. Here it's follow the trail of benefits. It's like, well, say letting go meditation helps you overcome social anxiety. But then what's the benefit of overcoming social anxiety? Well, then you'll be able to put yourself out there. You'll feel more comfortable. Well, then what's the benefit of that? You'll be able to network and easily meet new people, jump at different opportunities. Well, what's the benefit of that? You'll form better relationships, better friendships. You'll make more money. What's the benefit of that? Oh, well, you'll have more money to do this, this, this. You can follow this trail of benefits too. Okay, but that's the question. It's like, if I just put out, okay, how to overcome anxiety, cool. But following why should they care, right? It could be, well, one angle, and there's many angles. It could be, well, social anxiety, for example, is, really hurting how you come off, hurting your confidence. And by doing so, people will start, say, if you let go of it, your confidence rises, you put yourself out there, people start chasing you. So a better framing than just how to overcome social anxiety is how to make people chase you, right? Or people will chase you if you let go of this. Wait, what? Now they care. Okay, so why should they care, and where is this cool to me, but someone else really doesn't care at all? Okay, I remember too, I had this video that I put out where there were some lessons from parenthood, right? Being a parent. And some of the first drafts of just even title or thumbnail, it was really cool. Like it was around parenting and lessons. And there was even like a picture where there was me before having kids and after having kids. And I was going to post it, and I was talking to some people, and they're like, okay, that's really cool, but you think that's cool because you're a parent. What about some of you who isn't a parent, or someone who just doesn't even want kids? Why would they care about this, right? What would get them to click on it? And the person was right. It was appealing to too small of an audience, in which case I picked a different framing, the same message, the same content, but a framing that got more people to care. Get it? Okay, this is the foundation of your brand, or whatever brand, whether it's a business or again a product, you name it. Always have that list of features and benefits, and benefits is what resonates, right? Even in terms of selling, you'll see a lot of people make this mistake. They sell with features, but no one cares about that. They want the benefits. The same with, say, this coaching right here. If someone just sold with the features, like, well, here's how it works. You see, there's Zoom calls and blah, blah, blah. Do you want to buy the Zoom calls? You're like, yeah. You're not in it for that. You're in it for what the coaching does for you. Like, how does the Zoom call benefit me? How does this whole coaching benefit me in my life? That's what connects. Okay. Beyond that, in terms of branding, you must have a compelling story. Everything is about stories. And you currently, right now, no matter who you are, by the way, have a compelling story. You just have to find it and flesh it out. But we all have one. Okay, I remember, no joke, this is back in 2008, 9, maybe a little bit before 10 when I started coaching, I would look up to different coaches and think, well, look, they're all so unique. They all have their own style, right? I'd follow different people and they're like, oh, look, that person kind of has the, I don't care at all what people think style, a little bit on the crazy side. Oh, this person has the more intellectual style. This person has the fun style. Oh, this person has the very just grounded style. Well, what's my style? And I used to think I just don't have a style. No joke. I'm like, I'm just a little boring. Like, what's really my style, right? I had identified some, like I said, with the little Eminem book, so on and so forth. But I was like, how do I, like, what's even my story, right? Now, looking back, you're probably already somewhat aware of my story, right? I talk about it, right? Going from at the very beginning, being extremely shy, growing up in Switzerland, this small little farm town of 650 people, moving across to Los Angeles, going through the first couple years of just perils and craziness in Los Angeles, to then coaching and traveling around and overcoming that anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. In a way, that there is quite an epic story. It's the beginning of it, right? You could also think of the hero's journey. But the biggest sticking point I had at the time is I didn't realize that it was compelling because it's just me. You might look at your story and you're like, well, what's compelling about me? Because it's just little old me. But if you kind of zoom out, you're like, okay, what if this wasn't me? What if this was someone I currently look up to? How would they talk about the story of me? And taking on that perspective can help tremendously, right? How would they talk about it? Say you're someone who's like, you know what, I didn't take that much action for the past few years. I've really been stuck, procrastinating a lot. I've not done much at all. Just a couple years of stuckness. What's interesting to tell about that? Well, that's a compelling story. Flesh it out. Talk about all the details of what it feels like to be stuck, right? There you are, the hero of your own movie of your life, stuck for 2 years, just procrastinating. You wake up, you can't get yourself to do anything. You're just going through the motions. You're like, oh, I can't control. I'm trying this. Oh, I tried this other course. I didn't take action on it. I'm wasting money, wasting time. Like, flesh out that hell of what it feels like to be stuck. That's a compelling story, right? Versus, oh, I was kind of stuck for a little bit. Make your story captivating. If your story was a movie, how would you describe it to make it the most captivating movie ever? And that's part of your brand. It's making it captivating and making sure people are aware of the story. And you've got to tell it. They're not going to know it. They're not going to guess it. You have to control this and put it out there. And it also means being vulnerable, right? I wrote down here below, never leave your reputation up to chance. This is also key. When being vulnerable, put your quote unquote weaknesses out there. Make it part of your story. If you hide it, and this is what people do, sometimes they're like, oh, I'm perfect. There are no weaknesses. Eventually, it'll come out, right? Especially as you grow and the more you put yourself out there, the more people you come in contact with, people will see through the front. You can't maintain it forever. So you better put your weaknesses out there. And that's what also adds some contrast to the story that is you. Put it out there, and just like, I believe we talked about like Eminem and 8 Mile, it's like you just put all the weaknesses, like now you're invincible. It's all out there. Okay, so this is key. What's the story of the brand that is you? The ups and downs, the good and the bad. No one wants a story that's just flat where everything happens well. They want the ups and downs. They want the craziness. They want the weaknesses. They want the contrast, right? Building to mine. It's, then I started traveling around and then everything crumbled, right? A crazy scandal. And then the rebuilding process from that, like Phoenix from the ashes and the lessons from that, right? Like even that, the whole like going through that down period. If I was like, oh, it's kind of nothing, it's nothing, it takes away from it. Like that there became part of the story. Everything that happens to you, the ups and downs becomes part of your story, and you got to tell people. And that's what they'll remember, right? They don't necessarily remember like, oh yeah, there's this person, the brand and the style, cool. They'll remember the little glimpses of your journey. That's what stands out. We remember stories more so than facts or content. It's all about the story around it. The same with your brand. Every good brand out there has an amazing story. What is yours? Start identifying it and then flesh it out. Okay? This will take time, and you'll build it and you'll add to it and you'll tweak it. But do know that right now, for a fact, you have a compelling story. Okay. And in terms of branding here too, it's embody the result they want. This applies to, say, coaching, right? Whatever you're coaching someone through, the result at the end, embody that. When they look at you, they should see that result. Embody it. The same where it's like, okay, I want to make some friends, so on and so forth. Well, embody the result, like whatever it is that is going to draw that type of person to you. And that's also where deep inner work comes into play. You can't fake this, right? It's not like I'm going to create the front of the results. No, you have to truly embody it. But this is the foundation of a brand. You can look at any brands out there. You're going to see it's heavily focused on benefits. It's always very unique, authenticity, then benefits. There's always a compelling story that includes the weaknesses, and it always is congruent with the brand image and message. It embodies once more that end result. For you, it's apply this to yourself as a person. And really, just last point here, write down that list of features and benefits. You got to be clear about it, right? What do people get from becoming friends with you, working with you, getting in a relationship with you? What do they get out of that? And this will also help in terms of self-sabotage tremendously, because if you only know like what you get from others, and I'll see this a lot, like, well, if I'm friends with this person or I get in a relationship, this is all I get. And you're like, well, what do they get? And you're like, I don't know. Or even worse, nothing? Well, then you're going to self-sabotage because you don't want to screw someone over on the deal. Versus, no, here's what I'm bringing to the table. What are you bringing to the table? Identify it, write it down. Okay? This is everything foundation-wise when it comes to branding.
Write it down. What do I bring to the table? Well, shit. Fuck. What do I bring to the table? For 4.1, your personal brand. 4.1. Oops. 4.1, your brand. Arid. How do you pronounce it? Ayred. I was wondering where you were. Yeah, the reason I didn't show my face is because I'm recording these videos, so I have it just in case this guy ever takes down his online course, and that I have an offline version for myself. Create your personal brand. What do I bring to the table? Irid. I can't. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me look it up. How do you pronounce Irid? Aired. Or I read. Or aired. I read or aired. Okay. Oh shit, I'm number one. You're the only one. They're the only one, Chen. So you are number one by default. The second one. Oh, aired. Okay, aired. Got it. Oh, first one. Okay. I read. Okay. I read. Interesting. I read origin. Origins in Ayrshire, Scotland. Scottish origins. Oh wait, no, that's Iris. Never mind. Oh, most common in Turkey. Irid. Yeah, that sounds more like it. Not Scottish. Why are they showing Iris? I typed in Irid. Oh, stupid Google. Oh, you made it. Ah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so your brand, established authority, how to cut through the noise. I'll show you what I'm looking at right now. I don't really want to watch any of these right now. It's not my in real life name. Oh, okay. Handling object. No, that's sales. I don't want to watch sales now. Establish authority. Cut through the noise. Sounds useful, but I don't really feel like watching it right now. The art of storytelling. How to cut through the noise. How long is it? 18 minutes. Oh my gosh. Art of storytelling, 26 minutes. Oh my gosh. This is pretty. How much did it cost? It cost some hundreds of dollars. I think it was usually 400, but it was on sale because it was what was the deal? It was like Cyber Monday or something. So Cyber Monday, it cost like 200-300. I can't even remember. Yeah, I don't know. If this guy finds this live stream and sees me showing these videos for free, then he'll probably issue a file that I got struck. So I don't know. So far it's pretty boring. The most useful video was winning habits. That was the most useful video, which was saying like create time for play, stop consuming, be the producer, not the consumer. Those kind of habits were really stuck out to me. Oh, I'm getting tired. I guess the afternoon kind of how many hours did I sleep? I slept I slept 8 hours. Okay. You paid $300 and you're not watching the vids. Heartbreak. Yeah, I watched module 1 and 2. Marketing, personal brand, sales, public speaking. Those are the modules. Yeah, I haven't watched it it's been half a year since I've had it, and I still haven't watched it all. It's just that, just like reading a book, I don't know if it's worth spending the time on all this. I am recording all of it, so I will go through all of it. It's just that some information is actually useful, and some information is not very useful at all. So it's I have to measure, is it worth my time to go through all of this? Attention is everything. Human psychology. Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep if I turn on another video. So... And this is the book I'm reading, by the way. The Anxious Generation. How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness by Jonathan Haidt. He's talking about Gen Z and beyond and how their childhood has been rewired in a bad way that is affecting them in their adulthood. You know what? Let's watch this one, which is a really good video. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna ask. Alright, I have to go see ya. Alright, see ya, Irid. I'll see you later. Okay, let's do this. Oh, you can't even see. Okay, let's try who are examples of famous smart people who made a difference world, who did not clock slave. Me a whole bunch of notable examples and the details of their lives. The details of their lives. They spent their time. Okay, I'm asking. Isaac Newton and what's his name? This is a fascinating and important question. The concept you're pointing to is that deep, original, and world-changing thought often requires long, uninterrupted periods of reflection, experimentation, and obsession, luxuries that a conventional clock-in, clock-out job rarely affords. Here are notable examples of brilliant individuals who made a massive impact without being a wage slave in the traditional sense, with details on how they used their freedom. Category 1. The independently wealthy and aristocrats. These individuals were born into wealth or nobility, freeing them from the need to earn a living from day one. Their job was a pursuit of knowledge. Charles Darwin, a naturalist. Source of freedom was he had immense inherited wealth from both sides of his family. His father was a successful doctor and financier, and his mother was from Wedgwood pottery fortune. How he spent his time. After his formative 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle, Darwin never worked another day in a formal job. He settled at his country estate, Down House, and lived life of disciplined, self-directed research for over 40 years. His days were famously structured but self-imposed. He would take long walks around the sandwalk path to think, spend hours in his study reading and writing, and conduct meticulous long-term experiments. He spent 8 years exclusively studying barnacles to establish his credentials as a taxonomist. He bred pigeons to understand artificial selection, studied earthworms to understand soil formation, and corresponded with naturalists around the globe. This slow, patient, and obsessive gathering of evidence, free from financial pressure, is what allowed him to formulate and substantiate the theory of evolution by natural selection. Okay. So there's Michel de Montaigne. There's another guy. At the age of 38, he retired from public life and secluded himself in the tower of his chateau. He had inherited his family's estate. Freedom, tranquility, and leisure. Spent his days in the library reading classics. and looking inward. He wrote the essay. Oh, he invented a new literary form called the essay, which essayer means to try or to attempt. His essays were explorations of his own mind, his habits, his flaws, and his thoughts on every topic imaginable. He spent years writing, revising, and adding to his essays, a project that would have been impossible with the daily demands of a job. Entrepreneurs and self-made men. These individuals worked hard to build a business or a system that made them wealthy, allowing them to retire early to pursue their true passions. Benjamin Franklin, inventor, scientist, diplomat. He was not born rich. He was a brilliant entrepreneur who built a successful printing press, published a widely popular Poor Richard's Almanac, and organized an efficient postal system. He became so wealthy that he was able to retire from active business at age 42. This is when his most famous contributions began. During his retirement, he devoted his time to scientific inquiry, most famously flying a kite in the storm to prove that lightning was electricity. He invented the lightning rod, bifocals, and the Franklin stove. He co-founded the first hospital in Philadelphia, organized fire departments, and became a world-renowned diplomat, helping to secure French support for the American Revolution and negotiate the Treaty of Paris. His initial hard work brought him decades of freedom to pursue science and statecraft. Category 3, supported by patronage. For centuries, this was how artists, musicians, and thinkers survived. A wealthy patron, a noble, king, or the church, would provide for their living expenses in exchange for their work, like Leonardo da Vinci and Galileo Galilei. Leonardo da Vinci lived on the patronage of powerful figures like Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan, the Medici family, and finally King Francis I of France, who gave him a manor house and pension. He spent his patrons commissioned paintings, and this stable income allowed him the freedom to pursue his countless other obsessions. He would often delay or never finish art commissions because he was too busy. He spent his nights in hospital morgues dissecting human and animal corpses to understand anatomy. He filled thousands of pages in his notebooks and with detailed drawings and theories about botany, geology, hydraulics, and engineering, including designs for flying machines, tanks, and submarines, centuries ahead of their time. Wow. He was a consultant, not an employee, which gave him incredible latitude. The liberated academics and practitioners, Albert Einstein and Carl Jung. Oh, okay, this is interesting. These individuals whose job was structured to provide maximum freedom for thought and research. Albert Einstein, the physicist. This is a two-part story. Early on, his job at the Swiss Patent Office was famously undemanding, allowing him the mental space to work on his theories in his spare time. After he became world famous, he was given a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. Swiss Patent Office. That was undemanding, so he had a lot of spare time. After he became famous, he was given a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. This was not a normal university job. His role had no teaching requirements. His only duty was to continue his research. His days in Princeton were spent in thought. He would walk to and from the institute, engage in deep discussions with colleagues like Kurt Gödel, sail his small boat, and work for hours in his study on the unified field theory. He was paid simply to think. So he had an undemanding job, which he had a lot of spare time. Carl Jung. Jung ran a very successful and lucrative private psychiatric practice in Zurich. This business made him financially independent. He was his own boss. His clinical work with patients was the raw material for his theories. His financial independence allowed him to reduce his patient load whenever he needed to focus on research and writing. The tower at Bollingen. Most importantly, he bought land on a lake. Over the course of decades, hand-built a primitive stone tower with no electricity or running water. He would retreat there for weeks or months at a time. His days were spent chopping wood, fetching water, meditating, carving stone, and writing his most profound works. This self-imposed retreat from modernity was essential to his intellectual process and was only possible because he wasn't beholden to an employer. These examples show that the freedom from the clock isn't about laziness. It's about the ability to dictate one's life to a deep and singular obsession, allowing for a level of focus and long-term dedication that is nearly impossible to achieve in a conventional work structure. Tell me more about Einstein and his patent office work. Also Jung with how he got his private practice in Zurich. Both Einstein and Jung represent fascinating case studies of how an individual's day job can either provide the perfect incubator for revolutionary ideas or be the very source of them. Albert Einstein, the patent clerk who remapped the universe. Einstein's time at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern for 7 years is one of the most romanticized periods in the history of science. It wasn't just a place he worked, it was the ideal crucible for a specific genius. How he got the job. After graduating with a physics degree in 1900, Einstein struggled immensely. He was seen as arrogant and disrespectful by his professors who refused to write him recommendations for academic positions. He was unemployed and desperate for 2 years, surviving by giving private lessons. His breakthrough came through a friend, Marcel Grossmann. Grossmann's father was friends with the director of the Swiss Patent Office and recommended Einstein for a position. Even then, it wasn't a sure thing. He started as a technical expert, 3rd class. Why the job was perfect for him, the happy accident. A conventional academic job would have been a disaster for Einstein at this stage. He would have been bogged down with teaching, faculty politics, and pressure to publish conventional research. The patent office was ironically a sanctuary. His job was to analyze patent applications and electromagnetic devices. He had to read an inventor's often clumsy description, visualize the core principle of the inventor's mind, and then restate it in clear, precise language to determine if it was new and functional. It was a daily exercise in the kind of thought experiments he would become famous for. Gedankenexperimenten, thought experiments. Focus on simultaneity and time. Many of the patents he reviewed involved synchronizing clocks at different locations using electrical signals. While working this supposedly menial job, the 26-year-old Einstein published 4 groundbreaking papers in a single year. One on the photoelectric effect, which established the quantum nature of light and would later win him the Nobel Prize. Wow. The Brownian model, which proved the existence of atoms. The Brownian motion, special relativity, which redefined space and time, and the famous equation E equals mc squared, an addendum to his relativity paper. He did all of this not in a prestigious university, but as a humble patent clerk, using the mental space, unique focus his boring job provided. The work was challenging but not all-consuming. Einstein was a brilliant physicist doing a job that an engineer could do. He quickly became efficient that he could finish his daily patent reviews in just 3 to 4 hours. That left him with 4 to 5 hours every day sitting at his desk with nothing to do but stare out the window and work on his own physics problems in secret. His desk drawer was filled with his research notes. His boss famously knew about it, but turned a blind eye as long as Einstein's patent work was flawless. Interesting. Famously knew about it, but turned a blind eye. That's nice of his boss. That's a nice boss. Art Sloan, I'm number one. You just keep spamming comments and you will be number one, Art Sloan. All you have to do is spam like 20 comments and you'll be number one. No, not even 20, like 15 comments and you'll be number one. So Einstein finished his patent reviews in just 3 to 4 hours, and so 4 to 5 hours every day, he just sat at his desk, stared out the window, and worked on his own physics problems in secret. Interesting. Now let's look at Carl Jung, the psychiatrist who mapped the unconscious. Yeah. We wouldn't call things unconscious and subconscious if not for Carl Jung and Freud. Jung's story is one of building a career that became the very laboratory for his life's work. He didn't escape his job to do his thinking. His job was his thinking. How he got started in Zurich. After medical school, Jung made a deliberate and at the time unusual career choice. At the same time as Einstein. In 1900, he took a position at the Burgolzi Mental Hospital in Zurich. At the time, psychiatry was not a prestigious field. It was seen as a simple custodianship of the insane. But the Burgolzi, under its director Eugene Bleuler, was a progressive and research-oriented institution. It was a perfect place for a curious mind like Jung's. It was here that he developed the word association test, engaged with Sigmund Freud, and built a reputation. How he built his private practice. After leaving Burgolzi and splitting from Freud in 1913, Jung went through a profound period of inner turmoil and self-exploration, which he called his confrontation with the unconscious. This was a terrifying but incredibly fertile period that formed the basis for his core theories, archetypes, the collective unconscious, and individuation. When he emerged, he established a private practice out of his home in Küsnacht, a suburb of Zurich. Self-selecting clientele. He was not just a psychiatrist. People sought him out specifically for his unique approach. His patients were often intelligent, successful people who felt their lives were meaningless, a problem he called spiritual barrenness. They didn't come to him to be cured in a traditional sense. They came to him for a journey of self-discovery. They practiced as a laboratory. His 50-minute client hours were his data points. He would listen to his patients' dreams, fantasies, and life stories, and in them he saw recurring patterns of ancient myths and symbols. He realized they weren't just personal neuroses. They were expressions of the collective unconscious. His patients' inner worlds were the raw material which he used to validate and expand his theories. Financial independence. His practice was extremely successful and made him wealthy. The financial independence was the key that unlocked the final most important phase of his work. It gave him the freedom to reduce his patient load as he got older to focus on writing, travel to study other cultures, visiting tribal people in Africa and Native Americans in the US to see the archetypes expressed in different contexts, and built the tower at Bollingen, his private rustic retreat where he could live a symbolic, almost medieval life and do his deepest thinking on writing, far away from the demands of his Zurich practice. In essence, Jung's practice was not a wage slave job. It was a business he built which served as both his research lab and the financial engine that powered his lifelong quest to understand the human psyche. What are jobs that exist today that are like the patent office? Einstein's patent office. Are there any? Oh, I have to go pee. Okay. Let's see what AI says. Jobs like Einstein's patent office. Yes, this is a fantastic question that gets to the heart of a modern dilemma. How to find mental space for deep work in a world of demanding, all-consuming jobs. The exact job of a patent clerk in 1905 is rare, but the spirit of that job, the Einstein job, absolutely exists today. The key characteristics that we're looking for is mentally engaging but not draining, provide significant headspace, and stable and sufficient. The modern patent office. These jobs involve reviewing the work against a set of standards, direct parallel. Patent examiner, QA tester, software tester, technical editor, copy editor. You are not creating content, you are refining it. Check for grammar, consistency, technical manuals, books, and articles. The hurry up and wait professions. Firefighter, IT network operations center analyst, NOC analyst. Medical lab technologist. Certain roles. The efficient expert, remote and freelance. Remote software developer. Coder. Data analyst, scientist. Copywriter, technical writer. In a freelance or project-based role, you are paid for the article or manual, not the hours. Night shift sanctuaries. The world is quiet at night. These night auditor at a hotel. Night security guard. Oh, but can't sleep at night then. That's not good. Third shift manufacturing. Critical mindset. The job itself was the other was Einstein's mindset. Many people see these jobs. Oh, many people in these jobs simply watch movies, scroll social media, or get bored. Einstein could have done the 1905 equivalent of that. He had the discipline and passion to use his free time for his true work. The modern Einstein job isn't about finding a role with downtime. It's about having the inner drive to protect and utilize that downtime for your own profound purposes. Damn. Copywriter, technical writer. Can I do that? Copywriter, technical writer. What is the path to becoming a copywriter? Technical writer. Outlining the path, building the framework, defining the niche, developing specialized paths, delineating distinct paths, defining and building portfolio. There's an excellent and very achievable career path because it clearly values thinking and skill over specific rigid credentials. Why should I care? Convince me. Persuade and sell. Oh. God. I don't want to do that. Oh, God. Never mind. Never mind. I don't want to do that. Night shift security guard is appealing, but sleeping at night is very important. The alert, harsh reality. Oh, sleeping at night is a non-negotiable biological imperative. Chronic disruption to your circadian rhythm, physical health, mental health, cognitive function. Remote QA tester, data analyst. Disconnect. Structuring your weekends, full day on the weekend to be a day of thought where you disconnect. Waking up an hour earlier, have your own mosaic quiet time. How do you become a remote QA tester? Framing the query, refining the framework, structuring the phases, expanding the framework, formulating a strategy, becoming a road QA. It's one of the most accessible and realistic entry points into the tech industry. Does not require a computer science degree. Pick a website or app, grab a notebook, spend 30 minutes trying to break it, click anything, enter numbers where it should go. Congrats. If you felt a thrill when you found a bug, oh God. Nope. Big names you just test. Create a profile that's huge bias. Oh God, nope. Not for me. Okay. You have peeked at 3 different doors: copywriter, technical writer, night shift security guard, and remote QA tester. You likely don't want a job that's heavily language-based or involves persuasive or instructional writing. You value your health and biological rhythms too much to sacrifice them for solitude. You likely aren't motivated by a process that is entirely about finding flaws, following meticulous scripts, or documenting errors. You're looking for something that perhaps less critiquing or analyzing someone else's finished product and more about something else entirely. It might be a symptom of deeper desire for work that is genuinely engaging and autonomous, where work itself feels like your own pursuit, not something you need to escape from. The board is wiped clean again. No need to suggest another career path. What was it about the idea job that was so appealing? What was quiet autonomy, working with technology? I love being a YouTuber and am living with my mom at age 34, making YouTube videos. You're already doing the Einstein job. You are not unemployed looking for a job. Autonomy and control over your time. You have this. You decide when to research, script, film, and edit. Your schedule is your own. Deep obsessive work. Your work is deep obsessive work. A patron who provides for the basic needs. You have this. In the same way that a patron like the Medici family freed Leonardo da Vinci from worrying about rent so he could focus on his art, living with your mom provides a crucial financial safety net. This is a form of patronage. You are not unemployed and looking for a job. You are a modern-day creator, an entrepreneur, a self-directed intellectual, living under a patronage system that allows you to pursue your work. Why you are looking for something else. The feeling that you should be looking for a different job likely comes from external social pressure, not an internal need. Age 34 factor. Society has a rigid, outdated script. By 34, you should have a traditional career, separate home, etc. Your situation defies the script. Living with mom factor. This part of the script often carries a false narrative of failure and dependency. YouTuber factor. Many still don't view being a YouTuber as a real job, even though it requires immense discipline, skill, and entrepreneurial spirit. The conflict wasn't, I need a job. The conflict was, the life I am living now doesn't match the story society tells me I should be living, and that makes me feel insecure. Paradigm shift from seeking to optimizing. This changes everything. Your goal is not to find a new path. Your goal is to honor and optimize the path you're already on. The new questions are not, what job should I get? They are, how can I deepen my gratitude for my current situation? Recognize that your living situation is not a weakness, but a strategic advantage that enables your creative work. How can I professionalize my current work? How can you improve your craft, grow your audience, and increase your income from YouTube so that it becomes more sustainable and you can, if you choose, contribute more to the household? How can I manage the psychological pressure from the outside world? How can you build the internal confidence to your own path regardless of what others think? This involves seeing your mother not just as mom, but as your most important patron and investor, and treating that relationship with immense respect. You are not on the starting line trying to figure out which race to run. You are in the middle of the race, a race you've chosen and are good at. The problem isn't the race. It's the hecklers in the crowd, both real and imagined, making you doubt if you should be running at all. Your work now is to tune them out, focus on your craft, and fully embrace the unique and powerful opportunity you have created for yourself. Interesting. So keep working on YouTube like I already am doing now, and no need for a side job. No need for a side job? Probably a side job might be good, right? I need to pee. I need to pee. Exactly. This is the new, more powerful question. The answer is not a simple yes or no. You should reframe the question "should I" to the street to "do I need to." Your main goal: grow a successful, fulfilling YouTube channel. The side job is a tool. Capital, money to relieve financial pressure, structure and sanity, and skill acquisition. Oh shit, I really need to pee. Okay, I'll be right back. Let's play some copyright free music. Long. Okay, let's. Oh, my bad. That is horrible music. Oh my god. The relaxed movement, that's awful music. Sorry for that. Okay. Is your current YouTube income covering your personal expenses, allowing you to contribute a fair share to the household? Have you had an open, honest conversation? Growth trajectory. Is your channel's income growing? Is there a piece of equipment? Isolation. Do you go days without meaning? Are you disciplined with your YouTube work? Do you feel like you're on the clock 24/7 because work is your life? Scenario A, no, I do not need a side job right now. There's an answer if you can say yes to most of these. Your finances are stable. Current arrangement is happy, suitable for both. Channel is showing clear signs of growth. You're disciplined, mentally healthy, and thriving on autonomy. You feel your time is 100% best spent by pouring every available hour into your YouTube channel because the reverse return to investment is high. Yes, a strategic side job might be a good idea if you answer yes to some of these. There's some financial pressure. You need extra cash to invest in better gear. You feel isolated to think a bit of structured social interaction would be good. You feel isolated and think a bit of structured social interaction would be good. Your channel's growth has plateaued and you feel some time might give you fresh ideas. Do not go for a conventional 40-hour-a-week career. That would kill your YouTube dream. Do something part-time and flexible. Spend 10 to 20 hours a week that respects your YouTube schedule. Low mental drain, a job that can leave at the door when you clock out and doesn't steal your creative energy. Examples: working at a local library, a quiet retail store, a coffee shop, or doing part-time. Coffee shops are not quiet if they're busy. Or doing part-time remote data entry. The goal isn't a career, but it's a tool to get a capital structure to support your real career, which is YouTube. You are in the driver's seat. Your default position should be focused entirely on YouTube. Only consider a side job if your self-audit reveals a specific problem that a strategic low-impact job could solve. Local library, quiet retail store, doing part-time remote data entry. Isn't part-time remote data entry being overtaken by AI? Yes, traditional brute force data entry is being decimated by AI. Dumb data entry. Okay. The AI supervisor, the data cleaner, small scale specialist. Part-time data entry is 5 years ago. It's on its way out. Part-time remote data work is a robust new world, supervising AI, solving data puzzles, and handling exceptions. Oh, Ochi's gonna pee. Just wait. I have to get her pee. Ochi? Wait, Ochi? Wait, Ochi, wait, I'm coming, Ochi, I'm coming. Okay, I'm back. I don't even think anyone's watching. Probably just me here, unless there are some silent watchers. Okay. Mochi, she came upstairs. Mochi. Mochi. Hi, Mochi. Sorry, Mochi. Mochi. Look at the camera. Mochi. 10 years old already, Mochi. Not many years left. I guess I better cherish the time with you. Mochi, mommy's here. Mochi, mommy's here. Oh, the dryer's done. I have to get it. I'll go out in an hour. I'll leave in an hour. In the evening I am, not in the afternoon. I stopped watching tennis. Side jump on for money only makes sense if you have a specific high cost goal, like I need $2,000 for a new camera and PC, or you have done. Do I feel isolated? Do I crave a change of scenery? Do I want to be part of a team, even if for a few hours a week? Would having a reason to leave the house and interact with people be good for my mental health and give me new ideas for my content? Your default position should be a firm no to a side job. The strategic investment reason you need a lump sum for a specific channel upgrade and a temporary side job is the fastest way to get it. Or you recognize that structure and social interaction of a part-time role would genuinely make you happier, healthier, and ultimately more creative person. Do not let external social pressure convince you to give up the very freedom that enables your dream. Own it. So unless I want structure and social interaction as a side job that would maybe make me happier, healthier, and ultimately a more creative person, that's the only reason I should get a side job. If structure and the social interaction of the part-time job would make me happier, healthier, and more creative, which it could make me more creative and happier and healthier. I was thinking of working at a gym. Like the gym I go to, or a gym that's the same chain but nearby at Good Life Fitness. It could very well do that. So structure and social interaction. Okay. I gave her a couple hours ago. I might have to give her more. I better give Mochi her food. Okay. Okay. That ended up at a completely different live stream, but I don't know if anyone's there because no one's chatted anything, but I'll be ending the stream now. Thanks for tuning in. If you are tuning in either now or in the replay. Baba, boopa, baba, booba.